Hey, let's talk, because there's something you've probably wondered before. How do those people do it? The ones who seem unstoppable, the ones who build careers, crush goals, stay disciplined, rise fast, and just move differently. You look at them and think there must be something special about them, and there is, but it's not talent, it's not genius, it's not even motivation, it's something else, something quieter, something deeper. Today we're going to talk about the real secret weapon of high achievers, and I promise, once you understand this, your whole mindset will shift. 1. It's not discipline, it's identity. Let's kill the myth right now. Most people think high achievers are just more disciplined, that they're wired to wake up early, never skip a workout, always do the hard stuff. Wrong. It's not about forcing themselves every day, it's about who they believe they are. They've built a mindset that says, I do hard things. I follow through. I solve problems. I don't quit on myself. They don't rely on motivation, they rely on identity. The action comes after the decision of who they are. Want to change your habits? Change your story first. Start seeing yourself as the kind of person who shows up, even when no one's watching. 2. The secret weapon: boring, repeated effort. Here's the part no one wants to hear. The real secret weapon of high achievers is consistency over time. Not 10x hacks. Not viral moments, not talent explosions, just doing the boring work, over and over and over. While other people chase excitement, high performers chase execution. They write when they don't feel creative, they train when they're tired, they work when it's not fun. And that's why they win. Not because they're superhuman, but because they're willing to be boring for long enough to get results. 3. They make peace with resistance. Here's something most people never learn. Resistance is normal, doubt is normal, fear is part of the process. High achievers don't wait to feel ready. They don't panic when resistance shows up. They expect it, and they keep going anyway. They know that every big goal has a wall. A voice that says, this is stupid, you're not ready, you're going to fail. But instead of listening, they treat it like background noise. Because they know what's on the other side: growth, confidence, freedom. So when resistance shows up for you, don't treat it like a stop sign, treat it like a green light. 4. They control their environment, not just their mindset. Everyone loves to talk about mindset, but here's the thing: even the strongest mindset can't survive in a toxic environment. High achievers know this. That's why they're obsessive about what they listen to, watch, read, eat, who they surround themselves with. They design their environment to support their goals. Because they don't want to have to fight temptation every 5 seconds. They want systems, structure, focus. If you're struggling to stay consistent, don't just blame yourself. Check your environment. Build a system that helps you win by default. 5. They do things without needing to feel like it. High performers don't wake up pumped every day. They don't need hype music, energy drinks, or a miracle morning routine to get going. They move on command, not emotion. Why? Because they've trained themselves to do the work anyway. When their brain says not today, they say, thank you for your input. Now let's go. It's not cold. It's not robotic. It's just freedom. Because when your life isn't ruled by moods, your power multiplies. 6. They are obsessed with getting 1% better. You know what sets them apart? It's not giant leaps. It's tiny improvements. Every single day. High achievers aren't addicted to success, they're addicted to growth. They want to get better at writing, speaking, listening, thinking, leading, training, resting, living. Every area becomes a craft, and that's how they outperform everyone, not with natural talent, but with compounded skill. You don't have to change everything today, just improve one thing. Do that for a year, and you won't recognize yourself. 7. They are willing to look stupid first. This part, it stings. Most people never succeed because they're too afraid of looking bad at the beginning. They want to be good before they start, but high achievers, they're willing to be bad. They're okay with cringe first drafts, messy reps, awkward conversations, slow starts, 0 views, 0 likes, 0 claps. Because they know every expert was once a beginner. And every beginner who keeps showing up eventually becomes unstoppable. 8. They know that time will pass anyway. This one changes everything. Whether you train or not, time will pass. Whether you build the business or not, time will pass. Whether you stay consistent or not, time will pass. High achievers don't make decisions based on how they feel this week. They think in years. They ask, what do I want life to look like 12 months from now? What habits would my future self thank me for? They don't live for the dopamine hit today. They live for the peace and pride of long-term alignment. And that mindset? That's rare, but it's buildable. 9. They work on themselves. When no one's watching, high achievers know you don't rise to the level of your public performance. You rise to the level of your private habits. That means journaling when no one's asking, reading when no one's grading, training when there's no mirror, practicing when there's no audience. They don't need applause to get better. They don't need to be seen to be serious. They build in silence and let their results make the noise. 10. They're not afraid of being the only one. Want to know something wild? Sometimes high achievers feel alone. Because growth will separate you. Your old circle might not understand. People might think you're too focused or too intense. But here's the difference. They don't shrink to fit in. They stay committed, even if they're the only one in the room who believes in the vision. And eventually, they become the one others follow. Don't be afraid to stand alone. Sometimes that's exactly what leadership looks like. 11. They don't complain, they adapt. High achievers don't waste time blaming. They don't mope around waiting for conditions to be perfect. If something's broken, they fix it. If something's missing, they build it. If something's hard, they find a smarter way to face it. They don't have fewer problems, they just have better problem-solving skills. And every time they hit a wall, they see it as data, not defeat. You can do this too. Next time something doesn't work, don't spiral. Ask, okay, what's the next move? That's how winners think. 12. They choose discipline over drama. Let's be honest, some people choose chaos. They live in cycles, emotionally up and down, always dealing with something, always reactive. But high achievers, they get tired of their own excuses real fast. They'd rather build boring discipline than live in emotional chaos. They don't make decisions based on their mood, their stress, other people's expectations. They make decisions based on values, vision, and consistency. They'd rather be calm, clear, and consistent than hyped, chaotic, and inconsistent. And that's what gives them an edge no one can fake. 13. They know rest is part of the plan, not a weakness. Burnout isn't a flex. High achievers don't grind until they collapse. They rest strategically so they can push harder when it's time to go. They understand that rest fuels focus, that recovery builds resilience, that sleep is productive. So don't mistake discipline for self-destruction. Take care of yourself like an athlete, because you are one in the arena of life. 14. They track the invisible stuff. Anyone can count money, or views, or followers, but high performers track what really matters. Hours spent learning, habits kept this week, how often they stayed calm under pressure, times they honored their word, even when no one was watching. They measure things you can't post on Instagram, and that's why they keep getting better, because they're improving the internal game, not just the visible one. 15. They've made peace with the long game. High achievers aren't chasing overnight wins. They're planting seeds, they're thinking in decades, and because of that, they don't quit when it's slow. They don't panic when it's quiet. They don't lose confidence when the payoff takes time. They trust the process because they built it. You want to be great? Detach from results. Attach to effort. Over time, the scoreboard will take care of itself. 16. You have this weapon too. You just haven't activated it yet. Let me leave you with this. Everything you just read, it's not reserved for the chosen few. You don't have to be rich. You don't need a genius IQ. You don't need connections. You don't need permission. You just need a choice. To show up when it's hard, to choose growth over comfort, to focus when it's easier to scroll, to commit when it's easier to quit. This mindset, this weapon, it's already in you. You've just got to reach for it. The real high achievers, they're not better than you. They're just more committed. And today, so are you.